Man, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of EOS. It's 1090 Jake, man. I'm rocking with y'all, and y'all rocking with me. And for this video, we're going to be speaking on Florida rapper Jay Tash, who was found dead after murdering his girlfriend and committing suicide with her 3 kids in the home. Saturday, January 1st, 2022. Los Angeles County Sheriffs received a chilling 911 call as a child pled for help. It was 7:15 in the morning when sheriffs arrived at the home on Pentland Ave in Temple City, California. As responding deputies exited their vehicles, 3 children from 5 to 11 years old came running towards them. They were physically unharmed, but would be forever traumatized by what sheriffs would soon discover. Entering the home, a mother of 3 was found lying on the floor with multiple gunshot wounds. A man laid by her with a single gunshot to his head and a weapon by his body. Both were pronounced dead at the scene as law enforcement began to process the murder-suicide. At the time, it wasn't clear if the child called 911 before or after his mother was murdered in the next room. She was identified as 27-year-old Jeanette Gallegos. The mother of 3 had graduated from California State University in 2019 and worked at Crazy Girls, the self-proclaimed #1 topless strip club in Los Angeles. She'd be seen in a picture from 2020 with Lil Nas X during an after party hosted by Lizzo at the strip club following the Grammys. Jeanette also had an OnlyFans account where she'd post explicit content that's been shared all over Reddit. The 28-year-old man was identified as Justin Joseph, who's more commonly known as the rapper Jay Tash. Born in New York and raised in Broward County, Florida, he dropped out of school at 16 before moving to Miami, where he started rapping. By 19, he'd be back in New York. The rapper would make the news in 2014 when his then girlfriend accused him of brutally beating her. Danielle Phaeton, who went by the name Danny Faye on social media, told police she shared an apartment in Bushwick, Brooklyn with the rapper for almost a year. It was 3 in the morning when the two were arguing, and according to her, he started beating her, his fists cutting her lip and nose, leaving her unconscious and waking up with a black eye. She'd take to social media saying she was covered in blood and repeatedly punched in the face while she slowly lost consciousness. He told her not to tell anyone what happened as he cried, but he continued to blame her for what he had done. Jay Tash would later give his side of the story in a No Jumper interview where he stated he had already broken up with her when he invited her over, as she was left homeless from the breakup. He was asleep when she went through his phone, and he woke up to her on top of him, striking him in the face as she confronted him for hooking up with other girls. He admitted to hitting her twice in self-defense and calling his mom, who spoke with her and was able to calm the entire situation. According to him, they had sex before falling asleep, and the next day he was on a plane to Japan, leaving his assistant to kick her out of the apartment. That's when she started threatening to expose him. Eventually returning to New York and turning himself in, within 8 months the case would be dropped after the victim's statement to police didn't align with what she said on social media, along with the fact that she waited 2 weeks to report anything to the police, and she admitted to attacking him first. It's been rumored Jay Tash's mother was a lawyer who not only funded his career, but his legal defense team, and in a sense enabled his lifestyle, as she was the same one on the phone with his girlfriend, attempting to calm her down. Fast forward to 2022, an LA County lieutenant would state Jay Tash and Jeanette had been living together the past few months, but had been dating for about a year. Law enforcement had previously been called to the home for domestic violence, but left without making any arrests. New Year's Eve, Jeanette would post to Instagram wishing everyone a happy New Year's, as her celebration quickly turned into an argument with Jay Tash, who, according to the children, grabbed her, taking her to the master bedroom where he locked the door. Her kids would periodically knock on the door to make sure she was okay when gunfire shook the home. One of the kids called their grandmother, who instructed him to immediately call the police. While sheriffs have yet to release a motive, it's rumored Jay Tash had been accusing Jeanette of cheating. Employed as a stripper and self-employed as an explicit content creator, Jeanette's line of work wasn't for weak men. and it seems Jay Stash's insecurities got the best of him. The club was open 7 days a week and closed at 4 in the morning, leaving those working to count the money, get dressed, and leave. Jeanette lived roughly 30 minutes away from the club, and Jay Stash was apparently counting the seconds as the time she got home became later and later. It isn't clear what set him off that night, as she'd been home, and it isn't clear what could have been done to prevent this, as the weapon found at the scene was legally owned by Jay Stash, who had no criminal record. But it is ironic to hear he killed a woman for allegedly cheating when it was him who was accused of cheating years before in his previous domestic case from New York. While Jay Stash was a rapper, his last moments in life will have a bigger impact than any song he created, and 3 boys will be raised without their mother. Now this is a tough one because we don't know what truly made him snap. We only know what's rumored. She's coming home late, he's assuming the worst. We don't know if she actually was cheating or if she's just working late hours, the strip club's busy, whatever it is. And I mean, looking at her, she was a gorgeous girl. I'm sure she got a lot of attention inside of the strip club. But at the same time, you can't get with a woman like that, with that type of lifestyle, and have insecurities where you're just sitting at home thinking about what she's doing, what she could be doing, because her occupation is literally that. You know what I'm saying? She's on OnlyFans showing everything, this, that, and the third, and you knew that when you got with her. The sad part about this is the only way this could have been prevented, in my opinion, is if she reported him to the police. Because when it comes down to domestic things like this, she can tell all of her friends. But if one of her friends goes and tells the police for her, that could end their friendship. She could look at her like, why would you do that? I could have called them myself. Why would you interfere? Why would you put my man on blast? Why would you get my man locked up? She might take his defense, which we've seen in countless domestic violence cases. It's sad. It really is. And some women feel that maybe it'll end. Maybe it won't get to that point. Maybe it won't turn deadly. But in cases like this, we see where things can end up. And I mean, it's a blessing and a curse. She is no longer here, but her 3 kids are safe. They're with family and they weren't harmed, because this could have turned much worse if he decided to turn that gun on them. But he killed himself instead. I can't imagine how traumatizing that's going to be for her children, who were all aware of what happened, 5 to 11 years old. They know what the fuck going on. They hear gunshots, police come, they never see their mother again. The last thing they remember is her getting dragged into the bedroom locking, and them knocking on the doors. They most likely heard the arguments, the fighting, the yelling, and then the gunshots. But my condolences to the family. I'm gonna have her GoFundMe linked in the comment section, and I personally don't give a fuck about y'all's personal opinions on the type of lifestyle she lived, the type of work that she did, because at the end of the day, she did what she did to get through college. She did what she did to take care of her 3 children, and above all, that GoFundMe is most likely gonna go towards her funeral expenses and her 3 children. So I'm gonna have that pinned in the comment section. If y'all wanna donate, y'all can. It's 1090 Jake. I'm rocking with y'all, y'all rocking with me. Till next time.